Good day, everyone. So we will discuss Order Ricachales for this day. So for the Order Ricachales, there are two important families, and these are Rickettsiaceae, that has only one important genus, which is Rickettsia. And we will also discuss another family, which is Anaplasmataceae, that includes the genera Egyptianella, Anaplasma, Ehrlichia, and Neorickettia. And another organism that we will discuss is Coxiella burnetii. So the spelling is double I at the end and double L for the genus Coxiella. So for the characteristics of the order Rickettsiales, so for the organisms in this order, they form a diverse group of non-motile gram-negative bacteria that are known to replicate only in host cells, just like the order Chlamydiales that we previously discussed. In addition to host cell dependence and poor affinity for basic dyes, a requirement for an invertebrate vector distinguishes them from most conventional bacteria. So they are minute, so they are very small, pleomorphic gram-negative bacteria. And the stains that we can use are GEMSA or Leishman stain to demonstrate these organisms in blood smears. So the tropism or the tissue tropism are mostly the blood cells. Members of the Rickettsiales contain peptidoglycan in their cell wall, which is absent for the order Chlamydiales that we have discussed. And they have tropism for vascular endothelium or leukocytes, or the WBC or white blood cells. Members of the Anaplasmataceae family parasitize erythrocytes, leukocytes, and possess cytoplasmic membranes but lack cell walls. They can cause systemic disease, mainly arthropod-borne in humans and animals. So they are obligate intracellular pathogens that replicate only in host cells, and they require invertebrate vectors such as ticks, fleas, and other invertebrates for their transmission. So for the family Rickettssiaceae, there is one important genus, which is Rickettsia, and the species is Rickettsia rickettsii or Rickettsi. And for the Anaplasmataceae, we have Egyptianella, Anaplasma, Ehrlichia, and Neorickettia genera. For the cellular characteristics, they are small, 0.5 micrometer in size, rod-shaped, coccoid, and often pleomorphic. Obligate intracellular bacteria, non-motile, and occur intracytoplasmically. They are gram-negative with cell walls containing muramic acid, the peptidoglycan, stains poorly with ordinary dyes, but stains well with May Grunwald, GEMSA, Jimenez, Leishman, and Machiavello stain, and Romanowski. Extracellular survival is brief for most members, except the Coxiella burnetii that can survive for several days outside the host cell or in the environment. For the cultural characteristics, they cannot be cultivated outside the host cell, so they only replicate in living tissue, such as tissue cultures, embryonated chicken eggs, and rarely in media that contains body fluids. So for the family Rickettssiaceae, the cell wall often contain peptidoglycan. They can be cultured in specific cell lines or in fertile eggs. So they have tropism for vascular endothelium or leukocytes. And one important genus is only the Rickettsia. For the Anaplasmataceae, they lack cell wall but possess cell membrane. They have not been cultured in vitro. Members of this family is known to parasitize erythrocytes and leukocytes. Important genera are Egyptianella, Anaplasma, Ehrlichia, and Neorickettia. For their biochemical characteristics, They cannot synthesize their own ATP. So this is the table showing the classification of members of the Rickettsiales, the cells they infect, or the target cell. So for the order Rickettsiales, family Rickettsiaceae, we have the Rickettsia rickettsii that target vascular endothelium. For the Anaplasmataceae family, we have Egyptianella pulorum, targets erythrocytes. For genus Anaplasma, Anaplasma bovis, target monocytes, macrophages. Marginalia, target erythrocytes. Ovis, target erythrocytes also. Phagocytophilum, target granulocytes. And Anaplasma platys, targets platelets. For the genus Ehrlichia, or Ehrlichia canis, target cells are monocytes and macrophages. Ewing targets erythrocytes. Ruminantium target monocytes and macrophages. Ovina and Ondiri target erythrocytes. Neorickettsia helminthoeca targets monocytes, macrophages, and lymphoid cells. Neorickettsia ristisii targets monocytes, intestinal epithelial cells, and mast cells. Allocominica targets monocytes, macrophages, and lymphoid cells. So for the Egyptianella pulorum, the hosts are mostly birds or poultry species. Vector, as we mentioned, are invertebrate animals or parasites that serves as an important vector for transmission, like ticks. And then the disease is Egyptianellosis. Distribution is in Africa, Asia, and Mediterranean region. Anaplasma bovis infect cattle. Ticks are the vectors. Disease is bovine anaplasmosis, reported in Africa, Asia, Middle East, South America. Marginalia in ruminants. Ticks are the vectors. The condition is anaplasmosis. Tropical and subtropical regions is the geographical distribution. Anaplasma ovis was reported in sheep and goats. Ticks are the vectors. Disease is anaplasmosis in Asia, Africa, Europe, and USA. Anaplasma phagocytophilum, affecting ruminants, horses, and humans. And ticks are vectors. The disease is tick-borne fever, or equine and human granulocytic ehrlichiosis occurring worldwide. Anaplasma platys is known to infect dogs. Suspected vector are ticks. Canine cyclic thrombocytopenia is the disease condition because the target cells are platelets. It was reported in America, Middle East, and Mediterranean region. For the Ehrlichia canis, infecting dogs, ticks are the vectors, the brown dog tick Rhipicephalus sanguineus that causes canine monocytic ehrlichiosis occurring in tropical and subtropical regions. Ewingi, also dogs are host, ticks are vectors. It is the cause of canine granulocytic ehrlichiosis in USA. Ehrlichia ruminantium, affecting ruminants. Ticks are the vectors, and known disease is heart water disease in sub-Saharan Africa and Caribbean islands. Ondiri, Ehrlichia ondiri is affecting cattle. Ticks are the suspected vector, cause of bovine petechial fever in islands of East Africa. Ehrlichia ovina in sheep. Ticks are the vectors, causing ovine ehrlichiosis in Africa, Asia, and Middle East. Neorickettsia elocominica, affecting dogs, bears, raccoons, and flukes are the vectors, causes elocomine fluke fever in west coast of North America. Neorickettsia helminthoeca, affecting birds, and dogs, is the cause of salmon poisoning disease in west coast of North America. And Neorickettsia ricetici is affecting horses. Flukes serves as vector, and the condition is Potomac horse fever in North America and Europe. So this is another table showing the geographical distribution, the causative organism, the disease, the major vector, and others, like the suggested experimental and diagnostic test host and diagnostic test. So for the family Anaplasmatidae, so we will mention here the additional species Eperithrozone ovis in sheep, goats, biting arthropods are the suspected vector. Eperithrozoonosis is the condition affecting worldwide. Then we have Haemobartonella canis in dogs. Ticks are the suspected vector that causes canine haemobartonellosis worldwide. So for the epidemiology, animal hosts and arthropod vectors serves as reservoir of most rickettsia. Some produce latent or latent infection. 4. Ehrlichia canis, Anaplasma marginale, and Anaplasma phagocytophilum. Organisms are transmitted when the arthropod feeds on the animal host. Majority are transmitted by arthropods. Some are transmitted by flukes, especially the genus Neorickettsia are transmitted by flukes. Neorickettsia ricetici, which affect horses resulting to Potomac horse fever, have a complex life cycle, and the intermediate snail reservoir and also yung trematode vector are involved. Pathogenesis and pathogenicity. Pathogenic organisms have a predilection for endothelial cell of small blood vessels. Rickettsia species produce phospholipase, which is an enzyme that is known to damage the membrane of phagosomes, allowing the organism to escape into the cytoplasm. Replication into the cytoplasm then can induce cytotoxic effects. And for Ehrlichia species, they target leukocytes or platelets. So they can survive and replicate in phagosomes by inhibiting the phagosome-lysosome fusion. Neorickettsia localized in lymph nodes, resulting to generalized lymphadenopathy, or inflammation of the lymph nodes. For Coxiella burnetii, it can grow in the acid environment of phagolysosomes. So this is the one that we mentioned have several day survivability outside the host cell. Localizes and replicates in cells of the female reproductive tract, resulting to abortion, and mammary gland of ruminants that can result into mastitis. Members of the Anaplasmatidae have predilection for red blood cells. These are Anaplasma species, Egyptianella pullorum, Haemobartonella, and Eperithrozone species. For the recognition and differentiation of members of the Rickettsiales, we can use the 16S ribosomal RNA sequencing, the lipopolysaccharide content and metabolic requirements, blood or tissue smears by the JAMSA technique. Coxiella burnetii, we can stain it using modified Ziehl-Neelsen staining technique from the ruminant placental tissues, and the organism appear as small red cocobacilli. Fluorescent antibody technique can be used. Some Rickettsia are isolated in the yolk sac of embryonated eggs, like the Ehrlichia, Coxiella, or in defined tissue culture cell lines. Molecular methods are nucleic acid probes and PCR. For the clinical infections, rickettsial organisms are relatively host-specific. Disease tend to occur in defined geographical regions. In many instances, the clinical signs reflect the targeting of a particular cell type by the causal agent of rickettsial disease. Q fever, which is caused by Coxiella burnetii, and the Rocky Mountain spotted fever are important zoonotic diseases. So they infect humans. For the Rocky Mountain spotted fever in dogs, causative agent is the Rickettsia rickettsii, the organism replicating endothelial cells of infected dogs, affecting humans and dogs. Known vectors are Dermacentor variabilis, Dermacentor andersoni. These are ticks in North America. In Central and South America, we have the Rhiphicephalus sanguineus and Amblyomma cahanense. Ticks acquire the pathogen while feeding on infected wild animals. So for the clinical signs, usually it will take 2 to 10 days for the signs to appear, but the course can take usually less than 2 weeks. Once the clinical signs are seen, there is presence of fever, depression, conjunctivitis, retinal hemorrhages, muscle and joint pain, myalgia and arthralgia, coughing, dyspnea, edema of the extremities. There are neurological disturbances like stupor, ataxia, neck rigidity, seizures, and coma. And the postmortem lesions or widespread hemorrhages seen in various organs of the dog. There is enlargement of the spleen or splenomegaly and generalized lymphadenopathy. For diagnosis of the Rocky Mountain spotted fever, it should be considered in dogs with systemic disease and have been exposed to ticks in endemic areas. Acute phase of the disease, there is marked thrombocytopenia and leukopenia, which are very low platelet and WBC count respectively. Indirect fluorescent antibody test or ELISA can be used. Disease should be differentiated from acute canine monocytic ehrlichiosis, which is caused by Ehrlichia canis. For the treatment and control, the treatment of choice or the drug of choice is the tetracycline that is given for at least 2 weeks because it can be extended up to 21 to 28 days. Supportive therapy is necessary for severely debilitated dogs. And control measure that is very important is the frequent removal of ticks. Next, we have the canine monocytic ehrlichiosis, which is caused by Ehrlichia canis, that is reported to be confined to tropical and subtropical regions. In the Philippines, this is very common condition among dogs, especially during summer. But of course, it is present all season. And this is carried by the brown dog tick Rhiphicephalus sanguineus that can transmit the organism to susceptible dogs for up to 5 months. Dogs remain carriers for more than 2 years after they recover from the acute disease. So for the pathogenesis, the Ehrlichia canis organism is transmitted by the brown dog tick, as we mentioned, the Rhiphicephalus sanguineus, also by Dermacentor variabilis. Larvae and nymphs have been shown to become infected while they feed on the infected dog. So in this picture, we show the male and female brown dog ticks. So the smaller one is the male and the female is much big, or it is bigger than the male brown dog tick. So this is a male dog tick of Dermacentor variabilis. The clinical signs are seen after 3 weeks. So the incubation period is 3 weeks. The dog has an acute, subclinical, and chronic phases of canine monocytic ehrlichiosis. For the acute phase, fever, thrombocytopenia, leukopenia, and anemia are evident. Tropical canine pancytopenia that may result to persistent bone marrow depression, hemorrhages, neurological disturbance, and peripheral edema and emaciation. So when you say pancytopenia, all the blood cells have decreased already. Hypotensive shock may lead to death. For the diagnostic measures or diagnostic methods, the typical clinical and hematological features are suggestive of canine monocytic ehrlichiosis. Buffy coat layer in gem-sustained smear to detect the morulae of Ehrlichia canis that can be seen in the mononuclear cells. Indirect immunofluorescence to detect seroconversion or the production of antibodies 3 weeks after infection can be seen. Culture in canine macrophage cell line. So the blood cells above is the illustration showing the morula of Ehrlichia canis stained with GEMSA stain. So this is indirectly under the monocyte's nucleus. Also, two small coccoids are seen in the cytoplasm of the monocytes. So this is a morula in a monocyte that can dissolve into several cocci or cocci. So for the treatment and control, the drug of choice is doxycycline antibiotic, and it is given up to 21 to 28 days. So this is only minimum the 10 days. So the acute monocytic ehrlichiosis is, we commonly call it in practice as the dengue fever in dogs, but we should not regard it as similar because dengue fever is a viral agent affecting humans, but this one is affecting dogs primarily, because we only regard it as like dengue in dogs because there is also very low platelet count in dogs with acute monocytic ehrlichiosis. So we can also use other antibiotics like chloramphenicol, fluid replacement therapy, or once there is pancytopenia and anemia, we recommend blood transfusions. Tetracycline are given short-term, given short-term prophylactic measure for susceptible dogs is advisable. And it is very important to control the ticks. There are chewable tablet now that can be given to dogs with severe infestation of ticks, especially during summer months. And these are NexGard, Brevecto. These are the brand names that are commercially available. And there are soaps, shampoos, color that claim prevention for ticks and even fleas. Next, we have canine granulocytic ehrlichiosis. This was recently described in the USA. The causative agent is Ehrlichia ewingi that target primarily neutrophils. Infected dogs exhibit mild clinical signs and recover uneventfully. Next, we have the canine cyclic thrombocytopenia, which is formerly caused, or former name of the agent is Ehrlichia platys, but now reclassified as Anaplasma platys. So the condition is thrombocytopenia because it primarily parasitizes platelets. Infected dogs with thrombocytopenia recurring at intervals of about 10 days. They are usually asymptomatic. The dogs are usually asymptomatic. Diagnosis is via indirect immunofluorescence to detect seroconversion 2 weeks after infection. Next, we have the Potomac horse fever, also known as equine monocytic ehrlichiosis or equine ehrlichial colitis, which is caused by, the new name now is Neorickettsia ristici. Formerly, it was named Ehrlichia ristici. The organism infects epithelial cells of the crypts and colon, monocytes, tissue, macrophages, and mast cells. Occurs during summer months, and usually the fluke vector has been suggested to transmit the disease. Clinical signs in horses are fever, anorexia, depression, diarrhea, colic, leukopenia, and laminitis. Case fatality rate is 30%. Transplacental transmission may occur, and postmortem examination reveals patchy hyperemia of the large intestines. Diagnosis is via clinical signs, indirect immunofluorescence. The presence of rising antibody titer is suggestive of the condition. ELISA and PCR methods can also be used. For the treatment and control, we have oxytetracycline given intravenous for 7 days, claimed to be therapeutically effective, and there is commercially available inactivated vaccines for Neorickettsia ristici. Next, we have the equine granulocytic ehrlichiosis. So for the equine granulocytic ehrlichiosis, this is caused by Ehrlichia equi, now named as Anaplasma phagocytophilum. Clinical signs are fever, depression, ataxia, edema of the limbs, icterus or jaundice, petechial hemorrhages, and mucous membranes. Disease is relatively mild, mortality rate is low, mode of transmission is not yet established or not known. Demonstration of morule of Ehrlichia equi or the Anaplasma phagocytophilum in the neutrophils during the acute phase is diagnostic. Elevated antibody titers, indirect immunofluorescence, marked leukopenia, and the treatment is tetracycline antibiotic. Next, we have bovine petechial fever that is caused by Ehrlichia ondiri, occurring both in wild and domestic animals. Clinical disease is most commonly reported in cattle. Clinical signs are high fluctuating fever, depressed milk yield, and widespread petechiation of visible mucous membranes. Edema, petechiation of the conjunctiva produces potch egg, which is a typical feature, pouch egg eye, and diagnosis is blood smear using Gemsa method that in fact usually the granulocytes. The granulocytes are the basophils, eosinophils, and neutrophils. The treatment is again tetracyclines. They are effective when administered during the incubation period of the disease. So as we can see, the order Rickettsiales and Chlamydiales diseases the diseases produced by those orders. The drug of choice mainly is tetracycline, tetracyclines, doxycycline, oxytetracyclines. Next, we have the tick-borne fever, TBF, caused by Ehrlichia phagocytophila, now Anaplasma phagocytophilum. So by the way, for the equine granulocytic ehrlichiosis, it can be caused by Ehrlichia equi or Anaplasma phagocytophilum. For the tick-borne fever, formerly, the name of the agent is Ehrlichia phagocytophila, but now Anaplasma phagocytophilum. Vector is Ixodes ricinus, which is a hard tick, transmitted by bites of the infected ticks, also less commonly by contaminated instruments. Recovered animals remain infected for up to 2 years and may act as reservoirs for infection for ticks. For the pathogenesis, they can survive and multiply within neutrophils, eosinophils, and monocytes. Organism inhibit lysosomal fusion with the cytoplasmic vacuoles within which it multiplies. It delays apoptosis of infected cells, which allows the organism to complete its replication in spite of the short lifespan of these cells. Incubation period is up to 13 days, and the clinical signs are fever, inappetence, reduced growth rate in young animals, drop in milk production, abortions, and stillbirths. Most affected animals recover within 2 weeks. Hematological changes are leukopenia and transient thrombocytopenia. For diagnosis, gem-sustained blood smears. More than 70% of neutrophils contain intracytoplasmic blue morule. Indirect immunofluorescence can be used to detect the rising antibody titers. And the use of real-time polymerase chain reaction is also confirmatory diagnostic method. Treatment and control, oxytetracycline is effective given to affected lactating cows. Control measures are control of ticks, and we can give long-acting tetracyclines to lambs in the first 2 to 3 weeks of life as prophylactic treatment. Next, we have the heart-water disease or cowdriosis, which is caused former name is Ehrlichia ruminantium, Cowdria ruminantium. The new name is Ehrlichia ruminantium. It replicates in reticuloendothelial cells, especially the macrophages, in endothelial cells of capillaries, especially of the nervous system. Vectors are amblyoma species, which are also tick vectors. Severe disease of ruminants in sub-Saharan Africa and some Caribbean islands. Clinical signs are seen in 1 to 4 weeks, sudden onset of fever, neurological signs like chewing movements, twitching of the eyelids, high stepping gait, circling, and recumbency. In subacute disease, lesions are hydropericardium, hydrothorax, pulmonary edema, and congestion. That's why the disease is heart water disease because of the presence of water or fluid in the pericardium, in the thoracic cavity, even in the lungs. Diagnosis is by the clinical signs, nervous signs, and postmortem findings. These are tentative or presumptive diagnosis, especially in endemic regions. Squash preparation of brain tissue, stained by GEMSA method, PCR method, indirect immunofluorescence, ELISA, and Western blot. Treatment and control, tetracycline antibiotic, early in the disease is effective. Immunization by inoculating blood from infected sheep. Anti-control is impractical and expensive. Next, we have salmon poisoning disease caused by Neorickettsia helminthiaca. Fluke vector is Nanophyetus salmonella, which is known to transmit the disease. Salmon poisoning and the causative agent is Neorickettsia helminthiaca. An acute and frequently fatal infection of dogs or Canidae. They become infected by ingesting raw salmon containing fluke metasaccariae, which is the infective stage of the fluke vector. The organism enters the bloodstream from following attachment of the fluke to the intestinal mucosa of the canine host. Replication of the bacterium in lymphoid tissues results in generalized lymphadenopathy. Clinical signs develop 7 days after ingestion of raw fish, the salmon. Fever, anorexia, weakness, depression, followed by persistent vomiting and bloody diarrhea are seen. Death ensues in 7 to 10 days in up to 90% of untreated dogs. Diagnosis is the history of access of dog to raw fish in endemic areas, presence of fluke eggs in the feces of severely ill dogs. Organism can be demonstrated in macrophages and lymph node aspirates by GEMSA method or staining by GEMSA stain. Differential diagnosis is canine parvovirus 2 and canine distemper virus. Treatment, tetracyclines, sulfonamides or chloramphenicol, effective if they are administered early in the course of the disease. Supportive therapy can be beneficial. Raw fish should not be fed to dogs, and there is no vaccine commercially available. Next, we have the elocomine fluke fever caused by Neorickettsia elocominica. The fluke vector is Nanophyetus salmonella. Disease is milder than the salmon poisoning disease. There is no cross protection between the two organisms. Next, we have the bovine anaplasmosis, also known as gall sickness caused by Anaplasma marginale that targets or infect erythrocytes. Affects cattle in tropical and subtropical regions. Young calves can produce mild infection, may have mild infection. Vectors are Boophilus species and biting diphtheria or biting flies. So the mode of transmission is via the bites of the vectors. Instruments contaminated with infected blood can also be mode of transmission. Clinical signs are seen in 2 to 12 weeks. Clinical signs are inappetence, depression, and reduced milk yield, marked anemia, and jaundice in the absence of hemoglobinuria. Weight loss is very pronounced. Affected cattle may die suddenly from hypoxia or reduced oxygen level. Clinical signs and hematological findings are diagnostics or diagnostic. GEMSA stained blood smears can be used. Immunofluorescence, radioactive RNA probe, PCR, CFT, cardiac agglutination test, ELISA, and ELISA. Next, we have the feline infectious anemia. So this was discussed previously in the Mycoplasma because the new name now is Mycoplasma haemophilus. Formerly, it is Haemobartonella felis. Occurs worldwide. This is common in free-roaming tom cats between 1 and 3 years of age. Mode of transmission is by the bite of the arthropods or bite wounds. Perinatal transmission is common in kittens. Recovered cats may remain asymptomatic carriers. Clinical signs in per-acute disease, profound anemia associated with immunosuppression, like when there is intercurrent infection with feline leukemia virus and other parasitemia, fever, anemia, depression, weakness, occasionally jaundice are clinical signs seen. Chronic form may be followed with signs of anemia, lethargy, and marked weight loss. Diagnosis for the Mycoplasma haemophilus, it can be demonstrated on the surface of red blood cells in gem-sustained blood smear. Immunofluorescence and demonstrate the organism in blood smears. Reduced hematocrit or the packed cell volume and regenerative anemia are hematological findings. We should differentiate the disease from Babesia felis and Cytoxoon felis, which are known to be protozoal agent. Treatment and control. We have the drug of choice, the doxycycline, given 21 days for acute disease. Blood transfusion are given for severely anemic cats. Flea control is very important. So the flea serves as the main vector for the transmission of Mycoplasma haemophilus or the feline infectious anemia disease. Careful selection of feline donors for blood transfusion is advisable. Next, we have the canine hemobartonellosis, which is caused by Haemobartonella canis that can usually be asymptomatic disease, causes acute hemolytic anemia. Factors that may predispose to latent infections are immunosuppressive drug therapy, splenectomy when the spleen was removed, splenic dysfunction, the spleen is not functioning well, and other severe immunosuppressive infections. Next, we have the swine eperithrozoonosis, which is caused by Eperithrozoonosis suis. The new name now is Mycoplasma suis found on the surface of red blood cells. Most infections are subclinical. Prevalence in some pig herd is 20%, transmitted by the biting lice or the louse, Haematopinus suis. Use of instruments contaminated with infected blood can also be mode of transmission. Clinical signs are fever, hemolytic anemia, weakness, and jaundice. Severe in young pigs. Drug of choice is tetracycline. Next, we have Egyptianellosis in poultry caused by Egyptianella polarum, affecting poultry and wild birds. Vector is the Argas persicus. Ruffled feathers, anorexia, diarrhea, anemia, hyperthermia, or fever are the clinical signs. Lesions are hepatosplenomegaly. Punctiform hemorrhages on the serosal surfaces are evident. And drug of choice is tetracycline, and control measure is control of ticks. Next, we have the Coxiella burnetii that causes Q fever or the quarry fever. This is another zoonotic disease affecting humans. The organism localizes and replicates in the female genital tract and mammary glands of ruminants with intermittent shedding in the uterine discharges, fetal fluids, and milk. Mode of transmission is inhalation of aerosol originating from parturient sheep, goat, or cattle. Ingestion of milk or milk products is usually seen to be asymptomatic in humans, and rare sporadic abortion in sheep, goat, or cattle. In humans, the disease Q fever can manifest as influenza-like symptoms. Infertility, birth of weak offspring are evident in animals. Placentitis, endometritis can be seen. Focal lesions like hepatitis, myocarditis, and interstitial pneumonia were also reported. Diagnosis smears from placental tissue and uterine discharges stained by modified Ziehl-Neelsen method. Immunofluorescence to detect the organism in the placental smears. PCR, culture of the organism in the yolk sac of 5 to 7-day-old embryinated eggs. And isolation in tissue culture, ELISA, CFP, indirect immunofluorescence, and competitive immunoassay. Control measures, aggregation of the parturient ruminants. careful disposal of placenta and aborted fetuses to prevent aerosol transmission. Inactivated egg yolk vaccines are available that are given annually for non-pregnant ruminants. Vaccine for laboratory and abattoir workers who are known to be at high risk of acquiring the disease are given. Long-acting oxytetracycline or imidocarb dipropionate is the drug of choice or treatment of choice. Supportive therapies given in severe cases like fluids, they are given fluid therapy and electrolytes, vitamins, minimize stress in endemic areas. There is vaccination performed or immunization. Alive Anaplasma centrale vaccine provides partial protection against Anaplasma marginale. This is used in calves. Oh, by the way, these are for the Anaplasma centrale and Anaplasma marginale. Sorry. So this is the text. These are the texts shown in cattle, which are known to be the vector for the heart-water disease Ehrlichia ruminantium, formerly Cowderia ruminantium. So during feeding, the ticks transmit the rickettsia from one cow to another. Heart-water disease is carried by ticks of the genus Amblyomma, Amblyomma hebreum in South America, and Amblyomma variegatum in most of Africa. The tick vectors above are from left to right, male and female of Anaplasma variegatum and hebreum. There is convulsion seen in heart-water disease. This picture is a deer, reminding us that wild ruminants could play an important role in heart-water outbreak. So this is the exposed heart showing excessive fluid in the pericardial sac that surrounds the heart. And picture 6 is in addition to the fluids around the heart, there is also excessive fluid seen in other body cavities, such as around the lungs, in the chest, or thoracic cavity. This is the flea vector for the Mycoplasma haemophilus. And this is the louse transmitting the Mycoplasma suis or formerly Eperithrozone suis. This is the electron micrograph of Rickettsia prowazekii. It was not discussed as an important pathogen in animals. This one is the Rickettsia rickettsii that is the cause of Rocky Mountain spotted fever. These are stained by Jimenez stain of tissue culture, and these are the Rickettsia rickettsii that can be seen as bacilli or cocobacilli. This is an engorged tick attached to back of the toddler's head, and adult cam is shown for size scaling. Castor bean tick or the Ixodes ricinus is an important vector. These are other vectors. This one is for the Ehrlichia phagocytophila that causes tick-borne fever or posture fever. This is a Hyaloma excavatum that is the vector for benign bovine ehrlichiosis, NOPI, NOFE. Then this is the brown dog tick or the Rhipicephalus sanguineus vector for Ehrlichia canis, which is we mentioned as the dengue fever in dogs or the acute monocytic ehrlichiosis. The Ehrlichia canis is seen in membrane-bound inclusions with a morelli and within the cytoplasm of a monocyte in a buffy coat smear stained with right stain. This is Nereida rickettsia disease, the cause of Potomac horse fever. This is Ehrlichia equi, causing equine granulocytic ehrlichiosis. This is the vector for the salmon poisoning syndrome in dogs. And the vector is a flow, Nanophyetus salmincola. Anaplasma platis, Eperithrozone suis, which is now named as Mycoplasma, Haemabortonella canis, and Anaplasma marginale in bovine blood smear. This is an ox liver affected with disease showing distended bile duct when infected with anaplasma. And that ends our discussion in the order Rickettsiales. Again, if you have questions, clarifications, you can ask them when we meet face to face. Thank you and God bless everyone.